Welcome to Get Your Shift Together, the Business Fixer podcast. I'm Nicola J. Barnett, Profit and Growth Accountant, Business Advisor and creator of the Efficiency and Profit Framework. If you're new here, my mission is simple: to help business owners gain control, confidence and success without sacrificing their sanity, sleep or personal life in the process. I've spent nearly 30 years inside businesses. I've run my own, I've turned one around, I've walked alongside hundreds of business owners who are all exhausted, overwhelmed or one step from giving up, and helped them get back to a place where their business actually supports their life and not the other way round. So when I talk about overwhelm, I'm not talking theory, I'm talking about what I see every single week. And today, with the budget just days away, is the perfect moment to talk about why overwhelm feels so heavy right now and what needs to shift before it becomes your normal. If you're listening to the podcast today, please let me know where you're listening to. I love going for a walk, sometimes with the dog, but sometimes on my own for some sanity. And I'd love to know where you're listening to this today. The shift thought of the week. Your head isn't the problem, but trying to run a whole business from it is. So I've been looking at some statistics. I was wondering to myself, why does it feel so hard to run a business now? Has something changed? Is there more business owners in the world? What is going on that makes us feel this way? It feels like it's got harder and harder to run a business. And do you know what's interesting? The number of one-person businesses in the UK hasn't really changed in a decade. It was around about 4 million in 2015, and it's around about 4 million now. So, if the number of business owners is the same, why do so many people feel more stressed and burnt out than ever? And that's what we're going to explore today. I believe it's because the job of running a business has changed. The expectations have changed of people. The pressure has changed and the pace has changed. But the support around business owners hasn't kept up. And most people are still trying to run a modern business using the same methods and tools that they used 10 years ago. This episode is not about blame. It's about relief. I'm going to help you understand that nothing is wrong with you. It's the weight you've been carrying around that's the issue, and it's the weight that has increased as a business owner. How you're likely to be feeling now. You're probably tired all the time, constantly behind, in constant catch-up mode, never able to switch off, always waiting for the next problem, always secretly wondering, is it supposed to feel this hard? Then you're exactly who this episode is for. You're not imagining it, and you're not bad at this, and you're definitely not alone. In the past few years, the demands on business owners had doubled, sometimes tripled, but the amount of support, structure, and headspace hasn't really increased at all. You're doing all the work. You're running the finances. You're answering customers at all hours. You're trying to keep up with digital changes. You're expected to show up on social media. You're holding the entire operation in your head. And you're doing it in a world that doesn't give you time to breathe. Overwhelm isn't a weakness. It's a sign that business owners have been carrying the load of a 5-person team with one pair of hands. We live in a world where everything's available now. And as business owners, we feel like we need to be there, available to our clients now. We also have a lot more compliance. HMRC is demanding so much more of business owners. Staff, if you have any, are demanding much more of business owners. The world has become so fast-paced that we don't realise as business owners we're quietly trying to keep up with this. And as one person on our own, it's just impossible. Yes, we have AI and it's great to get this to help us, but we still need the time to set up the systems and to set up the processes. If not 100% sure, we can lose hours and weeks trying to get this stuff to help us. So how about this? Imagine waking up and not feeling like you've stepped into a sprint. Imagine knowing exactly what's going on in your business and not guessing based on what's in the bank. Imagine having systems actually reduce your workload instead of adding to it. Imagine feeling prepared for the budget, whatever it brings, because your numbers are clear, your processes are steady, and your business doesn't wobble when something changes. Imagine having time back, energy back, confidence, momentum, and you back. This isn't a fantasy. This is what happens when you stop running your business from your head and start running it from structure. And that's exactly what we're diving into. Let's have a look at my 3 fixes for the week. These are all practical actions that you can run and do yourself. So fix 1. Let's reduce the mental load. Your brain isn't designed to run a whole business. The biggest cause of overwhelm isn't actually work overload. It's decision making. Modern business owners make hundreds of decisions every week. I'd probably even say more likely sometimes every day. What to charge? Who to follow up with? What's overdue? What task to prioritise? Which email am I going to answer first? What was going out the bank today? What needs doing before the budget? How am I going to get my new clients? Where's the next sale coming from? It is constant. Your brain is designed for creativity, problem solving and leadership, not to store every process, deadline and to-do list. And this is where most business owners fall. The business is living in your head instead of in a system. So your first shift to do for this week is to get the business out of your head. Even simple steps help. A standard pricing model, a document for onboarding flow, a weekly review rhythm, or a central place for tasks. I love a Trello board. It's so quick and easy to add things on, and I do love to complete a task. Even templates for the repetitive stuff. How many emails do you write the same thing over and over and over again? Set yourself up some templates. When you reduce the mental load, you reduce the overwhelm. They are directly linked. Fix number 2, and you'll hear me say this a lot. Get control of your numbers. Uncertainty is exhausting. I can tell you from working with hundreds of owners, financial uncertainty is one of the heaviest sources of stress. And mostly it comes from not just having the right information. You don't know your cash flow. You don't know your margins. You don't know what's profitable. You don't know what's draining your budget. You don't know when the next pitch is coming or where the next sale is coming from. You're blind to your numbers and your brain fills the gaps with worry. When you have all these in place, it relieves so much stress. A rolling cash flow, monthly financial reporting, a live dashboard, clear insight on profit leaks, simple explanations behind the numbers, and someone who keeps you accountable to it. Everything feels lighter, not because the numbers change, but because you're no longer guessing. And that's where safety comes from. And that's where confidence comes from. And that's exactly where control starts. Fix number 3 for the week is to build systems that take weight off of you, not add to it. Most businesses don't fall because the owner can't work hard enough. As we know, we all work really hard. They fall because the owner becomes the system. No business can grow sustainably like that, and no business owner can survive long-term under that pressure. Systems aren't about being fancy or corporate, they're about survival. They protect you. They protect your time. They protect your energy, and they protect your clients. They also protect your margins. If everything flows through you, you will hit burnout. That's not a question of it, but more likely when. So have a look this week. What can be automated? Anything can be delegated. What can be standardised, such as your email templates or pricing? What can be simplified? What can be scheduled? And what can be removed entirely? I love that one. There's always something that you actually realise you just don't need in your life. When your systems carry the business, your shoulders stop doing the lifting. It literally is a weight off your shoulders. So as we wrap this week's podcast up, this is the part I say to clients all the time. You don't need to work harder. You need a business that doesn't depend on you working at full tilt just to stay upright. You started this business because you love what you do. But your capacity as a business owner isn't about how much you can push through. It's about how much pressure your nervous system is under. And the world of business is stressful enough. You don't need to add to it by carrying everything alone. When your numbers are clear, your systems are strong, and your processes support you, things shift. You start leading your business, not reacting to it. And that's where growth actually happens. Not within the chaos, not within the panic, and certainly not in overwhelm. In structure, confidence, and calm. So your takeaway and call to action this week is before the budget lands, just take a breath and look honestly at where your overwhelm is coming from. What's living in your head that should be living in a system? Where are you guessing instead of knowing? Where are you carrying everything alone? And where do you need structure, not stress? I'm going to sign off for this week. Thank you for listening to Get Your Shift Together this week, the Business Fixer podcast. This is such a passionate topic of mine, and I had so much more to write than these 10 minutes. So if you want to dive deeper into this topic, I have written a full blog with everything that we couldn't fit into this episode. You'll find the link in the comments, or head to my website, profitandgrowth.co.uk, and visit the Insights page. Until next time, stop chasing time, start owning it, and go get your shift together.